don't know where I'm going. Is it okay? Can we just live within the moment? Just stay with me. Oh God, I wanna start running. Lose your case. Can we hold up until this rain ends? Rain falls down in a steady stream. If it don't stop now, it'll wash us away. I wanna drive home with the sun in my face. Yet the rain falls down. The rain follows me. It follows me.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Touchline Talk on a Tuesday and Friday with LNobbins. Manchester City are League Cup champions, and it's now the international break. So it's a beautiful note to enter the international break on. Can you imagine how stinky the vibes would have been had we lost that game? Thankfully, we did not. I don't really have a set thing for today to chat about, but we are going to perhaps talk about the game itself. Did we learn any lessons from it? What can we take from that game into the rest of the season? What do we learn from Arsenal as well? Because I want to have a little bit of a go at Arsenal in this stream as well, because even as dominant and as lovely as City were, Arsenal were very, very disappointing, and they had no response for City. And is that down to what Arteta did on Sunday, or is that just a bigger issue in respect of their squad building? And is it this conversation of the difference between having the more technical players versus the more physical players? Was that an allegory for the argument of technicality versus physical quality? I want to touch on that as well, and many other things, and whatever we want to talk about today. So this will be a very chilled out, relaxed, positive vibes stream. Make sure to leave a like on the video as you're coming in. It's free and it helps support the channel. I'm going to apologise in advance if you guys can hear any rumblings in the microphone. One of my neighbours has decided to get their back garden jet washed, and they have been going since about 10:30, and it's now 2:20. So I don't know how dirty a back garden has to be for there to be like 4+ hours of jet washing and cleaning. But that is the state of play. So if you hear any rumblings, I'm sorry. There is very little I can do about that. The windows are closed, the ventilation is closed, but sound is still seeping in. This is not a sound-proofed hovel, I am afraid. But how are we all doing today? How are we all doing? Yes, Spartacus, absolutely. Leave a like on the video. It's free. Help support your boy. Hello, Reddy. Natanda says, good evening/afternoon. I thought you were going to take a break because you gave us 4 live streams last week. Never. Yes, we're back for Touchline Talk, of course. Hello, Abhishek, how are you? Also, Premier League bottle job foreshadowing, says Handleship. Love that. Hello, Nime. Come on, City. Absolutely. Jack, I hate you so much. How are you doing, though, mate? I'm doing very well, Marky, but how are you doing? Drunk Watchalong was elite. Thank you, guys. I enjoyed it a lot. That was one of my favourite drunk streams. They normally do end well. There's only been one where I drank way too much to the point where it became unwatchable. Outside of that, they have usually been quite successful in respect of the entertainment value. And I rewatched the video that I uploaded, and I tell you what, I'm pretty impressed with the video that I made. Okay, you can clearly tell that I'm under the influence. And there's some slurring of words occasionally. But I watched the off the ball. I looked at the thumbnail and the description, and I think I got like all the tags right. And the editing, I actually did a pretty good job, in fairness. So you get me. Now, that was only like the second or third take, I think. I think I did it twice, and then the third one. And in fairness, I only shafted it like 5 or 10 seconds in, so it was all good. So I was genuinely impressed with the words that came out of my mouth, although I did say dubious about 5 times. But outside of that, it was genuinely quite a coherent video, and I basically got everything right, I would say, in that video. So, hey, I think that deserves some credit and fairness. Only team to beat Arsenal by a 2-goal margin. Is that true? Is that true? I was going to ask whether... oh, yeah, we don't want that. No. Hello, Musty. I was never hungover, thankfully. Thankfully, I never had a hangover. I was straight on to LNobbins the next day. So I was all good. Okay, that was the thing. That was the one thing I said wrong, okay? And you know what I was saying? Shut up. Yeah, dubious lexicon, absolutely. But yeah, City won the League Cup final in the end. And it wasn't actually close in the end, was it? We all know the main reason for that was because Pep surprised Arteta. How did he surprise him? He surprised him with the out-of-possession approach, with the 4-2-4. Something that I've not seen City ever do. Maybe the only time I've seen us do it was in like a friendly or like a Club World Cup game, which is basically a friendly whatever. But outside of those potential games, because maybe there was a game where both Foden and Reinders played in like the midfield too, in a Club World Cup game. Can't really remember exactly. But it was something that Pep surprised me with, and us all with, and Arteta with. And I was concerned at first because I thought, right, okay, we're gonna have like no midfield. Then what are we doing? Are we gonna like press really high in advance and like? But surely our midfield's gonna get absolutely shafted here. But it was a high block without that much of a high press going on. So our players were stationed very, very high, but they weren't necessarily getting in onto the goalkeeper. In fact, that was literally the game plan, wasn't it? There was a period where Arsenal's goalkeeper, I think Kepa, had the ball for about 60 seconds. It was really, really funny to watch, and that was something that we noticed on the stream. Like, we just do not care about pressing the goalkeeper here. It was hilarious to see. And what was our... So that happened, okay? And you can get taken aback by that. And the reason why we did that was to deny access to Rice and Zubimendi. So you're cutting off those passing lanes in the centre. You're forcing Arsenal to either go wide, in which case, and often it was also to the left-hand side, and that was Hincapié and Gabriel, which isn't a very good build-up structure. So that was sort of like, you know, when we forced Liverpool to go to the right, and that when they had Bradley and Konate on the pitch, so we tried to play it away from Saliba, more to Gabriel Hincapié. So they ended up just punting it, essentially. And because they had... so they had their back two / their back four, really. So when the balls went into the midfield zones, we always had like at least one, maybe even two extra players in the middle to win those second balls. So it was just this constant loop of Arsenal forced to punt because they can't progress normally. We just immediately win the second ball. And the second half, especially from like minute 45 through to minute 65, like when we scored that second goal, it was just non-stop. I would have been really interested to see how many touches, well, in fact, I guess I could do that, how many touches like Arsenal players even had in our half. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. I know there was that really interesting tweet from James on Twitter where he said that Arsenal had no progressive passes of the ball in the second half up until the 71st minute, so just after the second goal, and obviously they had to come out a little bit more, and we backed off because, hey, we're 2 goals up. So that period was just sheer domination from City, and it was just something that we're building upon following the first half antics. So if I have a look at who scored, if I have a look at the little chalkboard, how many touches did Arsenal players even have in our half in that period that I'm referring to? So I just want Arsenal players, and I just want minutes 46 through to, what was it, like 65? Yeah, and even that is like a set play, isn't it? And that's being caught offside. So let me show you guys. So these are the touches that Arsenal players had in the second half from the 45th minute through to the 65th. Let me just trim out the kickoff and the ones that are in their own half. So this is what Arsenal were able to achieve in respect of territory in that period. And one of those is a corner, one of those is an offside. One of those was like a Gyökeres pass which just went to absolutely no one. So there was literally nothing. There's a couple of offsides there. That's what I mean. So what is that? So taking away the offsides and the set pieces, that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 touches in our entire half. Not our defensive third. I mean, if we want to take it to like more like the defensive third, it's like there's like no touches outside of the set plays and the offsides. That's insane. So that's how dominant we were. That's how much we were able to control that game. So big up to us for that. Absolutely big up to us for that. Arteta, I think, has got a lot to answer for here. Because he didn't come up with a solution. Really, he didn't, did he? The solution was punt it, but as we've just explored, punting it just led to City recycling the ball. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm very, very upset at my manager's inability to manage the game in that moment. Okay, you've been caught off guard in the first half. Fine. Exactly, Musty. You have 15 minutes, you have half time to go right. Because it's not like this is the first time where they come up against a 4-2-4. So why didn't they do something? Now, I don't necessarily know what the answer is. I'll tell you what I would have done, but I'll get into why maybe Arsenal couldn't have done it. Because I think what City did to Arsenal was a more extreme version of what Palace did to us at Selhurst Park. Now, Palace were a little bit deeper, but it wasn't a low block from them. It was a mid block from them. But they played the exact same way. Now they weren't stationed as high, but the concept was still the same. And City were unable to break through Palace's. I think they had 3 men committed that day. I think they played a 3-4-3 that day. But either way, City could not get out of phase 2. What was City's solution that day? Well, our solution was to drop Phil Foden back in order to help out with the build-up. So that's forcing another body back, which is either going to suck Palace players out, or it's going to give City enough bodies whereby we can actually bypass them now. Yeah, Ten Hag did do it to us as well. And then Chelsea did it to us. That was the game that I always go back to. Maresca did it to us on the first day of the season, last season. And our solution that day was to drop Kevin De Bruyne out to like left back or left wing back, and then he interchanged with Doku. But that was the thing to bypass it. So we played Kevin De Bruyne basically as a left back, and that caused this tension with Caicedo's positioning, I think it was that day, because he wanted to hold his ground in the centre, but he couldn't leave Kevin De Bruyne alone, so it stretched Chelsea's midfield too, which meant that it either left Kevin De Bruyne alone if Caicedo didn't go to him, and then the midfield secure, but then you got De Bruyne on the ball, or it meant that Caicedo did go towards De Bruyne, but then it means that you had like Enzo Fernandez left all on his Todd in the centre, and then whatever the midfield that day we had was, I think it was like Kovacic and Bernardo maybe, whoever it was, they had a bit of a fields day in the centre. So there are ways around it to do it, and if you are Arsenal and you are Arteta, then there should be a solution. But like what, and that's what I'm going to get to already, yeah. What's like the key like sort of like mold of player that I've just outlined there? A Foden or a De Bruyne. We've seen Rodri do it this season. We've seen Bernardo do it this season. You're like, was it against Leeds, where Leeds were playing really high? It didn't work, but the idea was still there, where Rodri and Bernardo were literally in the box alongside the goalkeeper that day to try to assist with build-up. The one of the solutions is to drop some of your better small space players or your better first touch press resistant players back in order to help bypass going forwards. Now, I know Eze was injured, but I don't think that's necessarily an excuse. Isn't that more an issue with the squad building ultimately for Arsenal if they don't have that solution? Because like Rice tried to drop deep to left back. Rice tried to do what Kevin De Bruyne did against Chelsea, but it was Declan Rice, not Kevin De Bruyne. So it did dick all. And it was almost like Arteta just accepted that they weren't going to be able to actually play out. So that outside of that one moment where Arsenal tried those rotations, that's normally how Arsenal get out of those pressing issues. But City didn't care about rotations. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Musty, he did. Yeah, Saka drops really deep. But City don't care about these rotations if you're playing zonally, because City weren't going man-to-man. So they didn't give a toss about rotations. That normally would have disrupted a man-to-man press. But in a zonal 4, we're like, who cares? It doesn't matter if you've got Kai Havertz popping up to left back. We don't really care who it is. We're just going to stand our ground here. So I think that that would have been like a solution to do that. Now, do Arsenal have the facilities to do that? Perhaps not, but they didn't even at least try to. It would have at least been interesting to see like Saka or Zubimendi dropping really deep to try to advance play. But they weren't. But they didn't do it. They weren't able to do it, and that was probably compounded by Ryan not playing, because and this is the benefit of having a goalkeeper who is comfortable on the ball. Kepa didn't feel comfortable trying to play that ping out to. It was mainly Ben White, who was like often like in theory the spare man. Even if White got it, of course, he had O'Reilly ready to jump, but he wasn't confident enough to play those accurate balls, so he ended up just hoofing it to Gyökeres, Havertz, and I think we explored it on the stream, or the post-mortem, whenever it was. That's probably why Nico O'Reilly played at left-back, because if the aim is to force them to hoof it and punt it, then you do want a back four that's going to be really strong in the air. And I actually don't know what the numbers were aerially, but let me have a look. I feel like we won a lot of our aerial battles against Arsenal's back line. Let me have a little look. Let me have a little look-see at that, or am I just absolutely capping? So Kusanov won his one aerial duel. Ake won 4 out of 4 aerial duels. Nico, there you go. Nico O'Reilly won 3 out of 3 aerial duels. And Kepa wasn't really punting it out to Nunes' side either. So even though Nunes only won 1 out of his 2 aerial duels, the ball always seemed to go to Kusanov and Ake and O'Reilly, who won 100% of their aerials. Whereas Gyökeres, aerial duels won 0 out of 4. Havertz, aerial duels won 0 out of 4. I've only just looked at those aerial numbers now of their strikers, but that tells you exactly what the problem was. They tried to play outlet football, but their outlets weren't outletting, and it doesn't help when you've got an Ake who's very good in the air, your short Dutch king exactly, and O'Reilly who's also a tall lad. And then from there, they didn't win the initial aerial. We won the second ball. And just the ball came straight back to them. So it was a really good game plan by City, and we should absolutely applaud City, and I have done a lot of applauding of City. I'm still buzzing about the performance. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm looking at it and going, could you have not have like come up with another solution? Could you not have done something rather than just kept doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again? So I'd be very disappointed in Arteta and Arsenal's players outside of Saliba. And Gabriel defensively, but on the ball, Gabriel was bad. Outside of those players, nearly every single Arsenal player was bad. Like Saka was bad, Havertz, Gyökeres, less said the better. Trossard didn't understand his role out of possession. Shirky was fucking him there. Rice was bad. Zubimendi had a couple good moments, but overall O'Reilly absolutely shafted him. Nketiah was a liability defensively and on the ball. Kepa is Kepa. Ben White, can't really remember him doing much either. So outside of the defenders doing good from the aerially from the crosses, Arsenal were very bad. So of course we were excellent, but like Arsenal were properly disappointing. So Gyökeres. So that's like my general summation of like being disappointed in an Arsenal performance, because I do think that is our best performance this season. And of course it helps that Arsenal played badly, but we can also say that our strategy worked and we forced them to play like that. It's just interesting that they had literally no response to it, and of course they only came more into the game from like the 70th minute onwards, because we were 2-0 up, so we didn't have to necessarily commit as many players forward. So everyone was absolutely beautiful and wonderful. Those are my thoughts. So let me know what you guys think, though. Did I miss anything on like Arsenal's? You can't get fucked in the midfield if the opposition can't get the ball to the midfield. Yes, exactly. That's basically what we denied them, Spartacus. Yeah, so I was concerned initially, but when I saw that it was going to be a really passive situation, like, oh, okay, interesting. I like this. It was fun. I guess like that may have been like a solution to just, but they were sort of not willing to do one or the other. It was like what they wanted to do is it's like this inability to adapt. It was like they wanted to try to play a build-out game, but they obviously couldn't do it. so they hoofed it, but then they didn't commit to just going full hoofball. So it was this very odd in and out situation. Yeah, they may have been better off going, you know what? We can't do this. We're not good enough to play out from the back here. Fuck it. Let's just pop all of our bodies forwards and let's see if we can actually win some second balls, because it's Declan Rice and Zubimendi up against like Bernardo Silva, for example. But they didn't really adapt to that either. Interesting. And again, it didn't help that Gyökeres and Havertz had a stinky game in the air. Yeah, lack of adaptation from the Arse. Hello, Josh. Arse's worst game this season, says Reddy. He had a full half-time break, yes. Would you give Arteta another season if he bottles the league from here? I don't think he will lose the league, so he'll be fine. But if somehow he doesn't win the league, then you've got to sack him, haven't you? Just by virtue of... Just on principle at that point. I mean, I think he will win the Premier League, but just on principle. I don't care what he's built and what he's achieved and how good he's made them. You can't not win it this year. That's impossible. It's impossible for him. You must win the title this season. One player could have helped is Eze. Yeah, he was a miss for them. You got to adapt though, haven't you? Look, we were without Ruben Diaz. We adapted. We threw Ake in there, so you've got to be able to adapt. Or your squad building should be a little bit better. Hey, maybe be brave. Maybe be brave. You have Dalman on the bench. He didn't come on. He didn't see a minute of play. He's apparently a lovely player. You could have been brave. You could have played him. Not saying you should have started a 16-year-old in a cup final, but just saying that the idea that there were no solutions, I can't accept that. Hello, Yanko. How are you? We're not doing the same thing at the Etihad? Nah. I think that was probably a one-off game. I don't think that we'll see that setup used on a consistent basis. It only works on a select few opponents if you're City, because usually teams just hoof it against us anyway. Like, most teams don't try to play out against us. They normally just try to go along anyway. So unless it's like the sides that are on our level or are, in theory, better than us, it's probably not going to... It probably wouldn't work. And as Spartacus says, yeah, that's also important, because there were some moments where having a good ball-playing goalkeeper for City did really matter. And there was one moment in particular... Oh, sorry, Musty. But there was one moment in particular. If you watch my analysis video, then you'll know what I'm going to say. But I do want to touch on that as well. Reich of Starter, says Naveen, my short Dutch king. Real question is, can we play like we did in the final in 3 weeks' time, or do we have to change since they know the tactic? Now, I think this is probably more of a one-off situation, to be honest. Forfeit season. Shirky doing keep you up. Yeah, that was funny. 20 minutes of sustained pressure at the start of the second half was elite. It was so good, wasn't it? So good. Basically, from minute 20, we were absolutely dominant in the game, which was really good to see. Hello? Hello, Evie? I know. Have you come to say hello? Hello? Because Mrs. Nobbins is in the office nowadays, so it means Evie's only got me to play with, so she gets very whingy. Hello? She's coming to clean herself. Well, hello, cutie. Is there any future? I think it just does depend on the opponent. I think it's probably just a one-off, in all honesty. Having to go with Rice for the Ballon d'Or, yeah. First goal to go back to front in about 5 passes. Yeah, exactly. True. That would be interesting to see, wouldn't it? Because, again, with a better ball-playing goalkeeper, would he have been able to more easily access, i.e. Ben White, and you could have had more options there. But I think like Pep basically knew that Kepa was going to play, and like Kepa isn't anywhere near as good on the ball as Raya. There's some mad stat about Raya. Like, Raya's got, I think, twice as many line-breaking passes as a goalkeeper than anyone else in the Premier League. Something like that. It just goes to show how good Raya has been this season. So he does deserve a lot of credit. How tall am I? 3'9". Oh, hello. Hello, you little girl with a little tail. Hello. You're gonna help me work? Yeah? Good girl. Yes, so if my microphone breaks, it's because she's nuzzling it right now. I don't know if you can hear her. where is it? I want to show an image. You can just see a little face there. Hello, Evie. You're gonna really really cause me problems here. Right. Yeah, so here is the Fields tilt from the game. Yes, guys, it's political correctness gone mad. I've gone woke with these stats. Fields tilt is an interesting data point. It basically assesses your level of dominance and territory in a game. Okay, field tilt matters. It does matter. Now, was it big up to John McKenzie? I think when he came on the channel a couple months ago, he said that if you look at like City's fields tilt across like the Guardiola era, this has been the lowest by a fair margin, which makes sense because if you watch us, we are no longer as dominant as we once used to be because we can't like sustain possession and whatnot as we used to be able to do so. So around, if I get my thingy here, around, I want to say, wait, is my, oh my God, why is that? So ignore that. Yeah. Can I control Z? No, I can't. Oh God. There we go. What color should we have? Let's have green. Yeah. Around here. Obviously, well, I should do an arrow actually, shouldn't I? Arrow. Yeah. Look at that. That is the turning point. And that happens at, like, what is that? That's around the 20th minute or so, isn't it? Around that point. Yeah? What happened... Shut up, don't worry about the drawing of the arrow. So what happened at around that point? And in my opinion, don't worry about the arrow, it's fine. I'm struggling with this setup, yes? In my opinion, this is what ultimately won the game. That shift. Because up until that point, if we just like revisit it, Arsenal had control of the game and they had that triple save situation and they were on top of us and it was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get a little bit battered here. We're gonna get a little bit battered here. Oh, there we go. So what was the turning point for City? Oh gosh. In my opinion, it is this moment here. So in around the 19th, 20th minute, basically where that field tilt flips on its head. So Arsenal are engaging in a high press here. Sorry, I've not got, this is not prepared. I didn't think I was going to do this today, but there we go. So Arsenal here. City are forced backwards to the goalkeeper. Gyökeres, this is very good from Gyökeres. This is a classic thing that strikers do. He is bending his run to deny access to a passing lane for the goalkeeper, forcing him onto his weaker foot. James Trafford is right-footed, so he's forcing Trafford to go onto his left foot, which is obviously weaker, and he's also just denying any access to Trafford's right side. So if we see here, by the time Trafford punts the ball, what options? Evie, please don't nuzzle the mic. Please don't nuzzle the mic. What are the options on for the goalkeeper here? He obviously you can't go here. Evie, stop. This is a no-no. That's no bueno. Yeah, you can't go there. You can't play it short to Rodders or Ake, because if you do, you're putting them on under massive pressure. Okay? So you can't do that. So you can't really play this ball either, because Zubimendi is really tight out to O'Reilly, so that's not ideal either. So you could technically play it, but you might lose the ball. So the options are either punt it really long, off screen, and then hope that Haaland wins it in the air, but against Gabriel and Saliba, you're probably going to lose that second ball battle. Alternatively, the play is to do what he ends up doing, and it's to try to find these players here. One of Bernardo or Shirky ultimately, because this is really the only area where there is any viable space. It's not an easy ball to make, but it's brave. It is risky, But Trafford's a goalkeeper who can do that. So what happens there? I think it's this one next. Yeah. Lovely ball into Shirky, who's in ahead of Gabriel. It flicks off to Bernardo Silva. And then from there, City are away with Nunes. Down the right-hand side, we know that we were really dangerous on that side. And what does this actually lead to? This leads to a situation where Semenyo is 1v1 versus Hincapié, who was on a yellow card by this point, I believe. And from there, that leads to Semenyo's excellent cross, which Haaland should do a lot better with up against Saliba. So that should have actually been 1-0. Now, why does this matter? So, this matters because... Hello. This matters because what City illustrated to Arsenal was we are able... If you want to engage... So, look, like, Arsenal have committed a lot of players forwards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in that forward line. You've got Gyökeres, Havertz really high up. Rice, Saka, Trossard also committed really high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that how many Arsenal players are not on the screen? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means there are 5 outfield players behind. But again, they aren't in the midfield. They want to keep that back line. Sorry, they want to get that +1 on the back line. So what City did here was go, okay, if you want to commit that many bodies forwards and press high, that's fine. But be warned, this is what we can do. This is what we can do. We can go from here to here. And from here, we can go to here and here. So we can essentially go from one box to another. If you want to engage high like that, is basically, in my opinion, how that situation was read. And I don't think it's a coincidence that after that point, they did not try to engage us that high. There were a couple of moments, but it was way more passive, and they did not commit nearly as many bodies forwards. That led to the 4-2-4 blockade, whatever you want to call it, where we absolutely forced them back. So I think that Trafford deserves a lot of credit for that, because what Trafford basically did was illustrate that if you want to do that, fine, we'll go from our box to yours. We'll go from our box to yours, and then Semenyo will be in, and we'll probably score a goal. We should have scored a goal from that. And then that led to the ultimate situation from like minutes 25 through to 65, really, where it was just non-stop. You can't even get out of your own defensive third. So our players deserve a lot of credit for that, and for me, that was... I know that matches are way more than just like individual moments, but that was, in my opinion, the biggest moment of the game, and that was like the turning point, because it went from that red to that blue, and utter domination thereafter. And then Arsenal only got some sustained red after they went to 0 down. So I think that for me that was the story of the match. To be honest with you, that was the story of the match. Hello. Okay, oh, she's doing that really cute thing, the cat, so you know when they like look up at you. Very sweet, aren't you, silly girl? You bull. You've been scratching your little lip, haven't you? I can see it. It's a little bit raw. You need to make sure you're having your steroid, Evie. Guys, rate the drawing skills. Great day out. Did you go bicycle? Let me know. Down for the England squad, shush. First goal able to go back to front in about 5 passes. Yeah, again, I would deserve a lot of credit there. Funny how the big reason why they couldn't play the game was because Kepa was in goal and we could dominate because Trafford was in ours, says Ismail. Good point. Who was my low-key man of the match? Well, it's probably got to be Trafford, hasn't it? Because you'd say that O'Reilly's got to get the main man of the match. So I'd probably give it to Trafford because O'Reilly's got to have the official one. So I'd say Trafford was my low-key man of the match. Mine's like Nori, amazing. Yeah, so I'm 2'7". What colour socks is your mum wearing? I don't know. I'll have to. I'll give her an ask. Evie's wearing white socks, if that helps. Respect the fields tilt. Yes. Respect my arrow drawing. Shit, arrow cancelling my membership. Oh god. Edison's Cruyff turned amazing. Joshua. Half that. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so. That's why it was so important to how we decided to set up. It was very effective. Absolutely, Kobe. Absolutely. Yeah, because she's got allergies, so she needs steroids. She has one steroid a day because she's allergic to dust mites specifically, and some other like pollen things. So if she doesn't have a steroid, she scratches herself, and she scratches herself to the point of bleeding. So she needs to have a little steroid. It's just one a day. She's all good. I'm predicting Arteta to use the 4-2-4 against us at the Etihad. Perhaps, although if we do that, we know we have Haaland and we have Semenyo who can be very good outlets in the air, unlike what Gyökeres and Havertz were. Although Havertz is normally good in the air, but in fairness, Havertz was just coming back from injury, wasn't he? Gyökeres is just dog shit. There's no justification for EV. There's no justification for him. He's just like crap. That's crazy that he's going to get a Premier League title probably this season, man. It's mad. I gave man of the match to Nunes. He was perfect. That's a fair shout, in fairness. There were loads of contenders for the actual man of the match and the low-key one. Like Kusanov was up there as well. Nearly everyone could have had an option there, in fairness. Yeah, well, he's shit. He is shit, though, isn't he? I'm not being funny. He's not very good. I don't care. He's not good. What does he do? What does he do well? And I applauded him for the North London derby. I don't think he's a good player. Even to start at the 10. Love that from you, Timsy. Love that from you. When I was a goalie semi-pro, when I made a good save early on, it was hard to beat me after that. That's exactly what Trafford did. Yeah, he set the tone, didn't he? He set the tone. Shirky and Rodri too. They both had top games. Yeah, literally. Literally, and that was the thing as well. Arsenal's only solution, so we've discussed that Arsenal tried to punt it up, didn't work. When they tried to punt up to like not a direct player, they tried to punt it to Gyökeres in the channels. Now, Gyökeres is a runner, but the centre-back that they kept putting that 1v1 situation into was Kusanov, who is obviously a very good defender in transition when there's pace and power involved. So that was an interesting strategy. That was certainly a choice by Arsenal to do that. That was always going to be Kusanov winning that battle every single time. Yeah, big up to Nunes, of course. Kiz Cole, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Love that from you. Welcome, welcome. L photo embeddings is ultimate. Starting your exams, unfortunately, no football will help study. True. Yes, there's now no proper football for a million years, isn't there? 4th of April. Oh, no, never mind. It's not that far away. We do have a cup game. 4th of April, City play again. So when is that? So not this week. Oh, it's only next week, in fairness. So it's just this week off. And then next weekend, we will be there for City versus Liverpool. That is going to be a thing. There's proper football on Thursday. I will not be watching any of those international games. I tell you that right now, guys. I tell you that right now. I mean, big up to those in the UEFA World Cup qualification words situation. I will not be watching any of those games. So I'm sorry, Spartacus. I know that Brazil are playing France, but I don't give a fuck. Bosnia, Wales, Watchalong, shut up. I laughed every time they played the ball behind and Kusanov was there. Yeah, it's just that was her only option. That was her only outlet, and it wasn't an outlet. It wasn't valid at all. It didn't work on any level, ultimately. He will play. Yes, he will play against Liverpool. Yeah, he's the cup keeper, isn't he? Been looking for analysis of City's defending on Arsenal set pieces. Did they do well or Arsenal shit at them? I didn't really pay that much attention to their set plays, but generally the delivery was bad. Like from Saka especially, I felt like on that right side, the delivery was bad from Saka. So that didn't help, but also Haaland was very good at defending them. This didn't really ask us any problems. There was like one moment where Hincapié had a half chance, a half of a chance. I believe we call that a quarter. But outside of that, I don't know. Hello, Diaz. Just a cup final, and I guess anything and everything. Yeah, very low volume. I would recommend turn the volume up. You know, I can lead a horse to water, guys. I can lead a horse to water, but I can't turn your volume up for you. Had a dream of a midfield of Anderson, O'Reilly, Rodri crossing to Big Earl and Semenyo, says Peter. Excuse me. Absolutely we can. Yeah, look, we can still win the FA Cup. Why can't we? Liverpool are coming to the Etihad, and we're better than Liverpool. Didn't they, like, lose their recent game as well? Yeah. They haven't won a... When was the last time they won? The last game they won in the league was Wolves. Let's have a little cheeky look. Yeah, they lost against Brighton. They drew against Spurs. And I know that we drew against them, but still. Yeah, last time they won was... and I was in a cup game, actually. When was the last time they won the league? 28th of Feb was the last time they won the league. That's mad. That seems a bit mad. Although, to be fair, I don't think we've won the league in a minute. I feel like we had 2 draws back-to-back. I don't know. Either way. Either way. We can beat them. I think we will beat them. And guys, 4 days after our FA Cup game, they have to play PSG. So are they going to have a cheeky eye on that away game in Paris as well? Because there's only 4 days difference between the two. So, of course, there'll be an international break, but are they going to have one little eye over to that game as well? Whereas I don't think have that problem. Well, we obviously have the Champions League problem. So I think we can beat Liverpool. And then I do think we'll make it to the semi-finals because I think we'll beat Liverpool. And then who are the other teams? There's Arsenal, sorry, Jack. And who else is in it? Chelsea, Port Villa. Okay, Chelsea will win. And West Ham Leeds. We can beat, and we've just illustrated that we can beat Arsenal at Wembley. So if we can beat Arsenal at Wembley, we can beat Chelsea. And then we can beat one of West Ham Leeds. So I think we've got a good chance of winning the FA Cup as well. We do have a good chance. It's just 3 games away from potentially winning another competition. And if the draw is if the draw is fortuitous for us, so if we beat Liverpool and then we play West Ham or Leeds in the semi-final, and then Chelsea and Arsenal play one another, then that's going to be really nice as well to have a relatively favourable semi-final. Of course, it might be Arsenal semi-final, Chelsea final, or the other way around if we do indeed beat Liverpool, in which case we'd have had to have beaten Liverpool and Chelsea and Arsenal. But you never know, do you? You never know. So yeah, great chance to win the FA Cup as well. And if we can do a cup double this season, that's massive. That's massive for us. Yeah, look at that. Excellent photo. That was cute to see, like, Foden encouraging Kazanov to go celebrate, and all the players do that. That was very sweet. I don't think so, Diaz, because I think it's, like, where does he go, realistically? I don't think that anyone in Serie A is going to want to pay his wages. So, realistically, you're probably looking at Saudi as the only option, and does he want to go to Saudi? He's still got loads of years ahead of him. Would that make sense for him? Probably not. So I don't think so. Excuse me. You think we can win the title? I can see Arsenal dropping points to West Ham and Newcastle. Look. In like the Doctor Strange worlds of, I looked at a million different timelines and there was like one where we won. If there is a timeline where we are going to win the Premier League this season, then that timeline also involves City winning against Arsenal in the League Cup final. That's all I will say on that, because had we lost this game when it mattered against Arsenal, then that gives them massive encouragement and confidence to go on and win the title and probably beat us at the Etihad as well. So the only timeline in which we might or may win the title would have been beating them on Sunday, because now has that introduced a question mark. Now, ultimately, I don't think that we will win the title. You guys know that. I haven't changed my opinion on that, because what's the current gap right now? In fact, let me just go to the... Let's go to the thing. So we do have a game in hand. So let's assume, for argument's sake, that we win the game in hand against Crystal Palace. I don't know when that game is exactly, but for argument's sake, let's assume that we beat Crystal Palace. That means there are 7 games left, and there's a 6-point gap. It's a non-negotiable. We would have to beat Arsenal at the Etihad. That is a non-negotiable. In which case, the gap would be 3 points, and there would be 6 games left. Wouldn't there? That's correct, isn't it? Assuming, I know it doesn't quite add up exactly because I don't know when we play Palace, but you get what I mean, just with those 2 games in isolation. Both sides would have played 32 games. We will be on 67 points. They would be on 70 points at that point, so there's a 3-point gap still. Now, the goal difference question becomes interesting because let's say we beat Palace 2-0. We go up to 34. If we beat Arsenal 1-0, we'd go up to 35. They would drop down to 38. Arsenal still have a superior goal difference, but that is technically something which could be addressed. However, I don't think the goal difference is going to be the deciding factor ultimately. I think that we would basically need Arsenal to drop points twice. I don't think they're going to lose again. I don't think they'll lose any of their final 6 games. Who do they end up playing? I always forget this. Their final games, not including us, are Bournemouth at home, Newcastle away, Newcastle at home, Fulham at home, notice all the home games, West Ham away, Burnley at home, Palace away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Evie, don't scratch, baby girl, don't scratch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so don't bite me. That's naughty. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they play 4 out of 6 games are at home. I think that Arsenal might drop points somewhere, but I don't know. Well, I don't think that I don't think they'll lose any of those games. First of all, so therefore, I would need them to have to draw both of those games. Sorry, draw 2 games at least. So they would have to draw a third of their remaining games. And so 2 out of 6. And as a reminder, those games are Bournemouth at home, Newcastle at home, Fulham at home, West Ham away, Burnley at home, Palace away. We would also need to be perfect. As Musty says, we would have to be flawless. And we play Chelsea away, Burnley away, Everton away, Brentford at home, Bournemouth away. So unfortunately, Arsenal have 2/3 of their final games at home. We have 2/3 of our final games away. So we play harder games. So we need to be perfect. And we need to hope that Arsenal draw twice out of 6. I don't see it happening. And that's assuming that we beat Palace and assuming that we win at the Etihad as well. So I think too many things needs to happen, unfortunately, for us to do that. Who knows? Obviously, but I'm still going to say that we don't win the title this season. I know that it's lovely that we won the cup, and if we are going to win the title, we would have had to win on Sunday. I just don't think it's going to be enough. Spartacus. It's not going to be enough, I'm afraid. We've just been too inconsistent this season for that. Been too inconsistent, unfortunately. But there we go. And I think we could have won the title this season. The fact that we are not good this year, we haven't been good this year, and yet we're talking about a situation where if we win against Arsenal, we're only going to be 3 points behind them. We could have won the title this season. We ultimately haven't done so. So that's a shame, and I don't accept that this squad is that far away. If it's used correctly, then that's maybe what I need to caveat, because I don't think I explain myself well enough sometimes, because sometimes I'm saying how I don't think we're that far away, but then sometimes I think that the team isn't really ready to win. I think that it's using the players in the squad correctly. Essentially, it is the key. Donovan Ventus to City says Fireborn, amazing. I personally think that the worst case scenario would have been that we would have the same number of points. And I don't think we would have had the same number of points. Because I don't think it would have actually been the worst case scenario. That's me personally, though. That's a hypothetical. I can't prove that, obviously. But that's my honest opinion on that. That's my honest opinion. Fulham is tricky. They also need to lose a game, so you can say they're on 87 and we're on 86. That's also the alternative. Hello, Toby. How are you doing, mate? Show us the cat, says Marky. She's sat on my lap right now, so she's comfy. I don't want to disturb her. I don't want to disturb her. Shall I tell you what you guys should be doing, though? You should be disturbing the like button, yeah? There's not even 50 likes here. I need 115 at the end of the stream. Come on, guys. If you are watching, get the likes up, please. Get the likes up if you want to go the extra mile and support your boy directly. The best way to do that is to become a member of the channel. The link is in the pinned comment, or I've just popped a new link there. The next exclusive member video is going to be an Elliot Anderson scout report, analysis, situation, data, words of articulate. She is naughty, Melody. She's naughty, but she's my baby, so. She's my little girl. She's my daughter. She's going to be 4 this year, aren't you? Oh, I love her so much. She's my baby. Oh, my little girl. I love her so much. Fulham are a good side. West Ham are on a relegation battle. Newcastle can be good as well. Look, there's a world. The chances are slim. The chances are slim. But never 0%. Yeah? Everton away is bad for us, yes. And I know that Chelsea is stinky, but even... that's the thing. We have to win all our games. And Stamford Bridge, I know that Chelsea have been a bit stinky, but that could easily be a draw. Everton away could easily be a draw. Even Bournemouth away could easily be a draw. Aston Villa on the last day of the season, that could easily be a draw. So we have harder games, and again, we can't even afford to do that. So that's why I'm still not, willing to get too into. I've still departed. My train has still departed. Exactly, Musty. Who knows what happens there? When did the stream start? Just after 2, Sam. I don't think so, Dom. I think it was a very specific use case. Who knows, though? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Again, we all know we can, but will we? Probably not. But of course we can. We can do anything apart from win the Champions League, obviously. Orphan can mathematically still win a domestic treble, yeah. Oh, God. Speak on Shirky's off-ball work, says Reddy. I think that the setup yesterday did suit him a lot because there was very little work that I guess any of our front four had to do, really. Because it was such a passive front four. So he ended up having a really strong game out of possession, which was really, really nice to see. And I think that every one of our players had a really good game out of possession, in all honesty. So, yeah, it was really good. Really like Shirky. He is, I'll keep saying it, Shirky is a player worth accommodating. You have to accommodate for him, but he's a player worth accommodating. I love Dom, but honestly, I'm kind of starting to turn towards Team Nobbins. We might be better off with Trafford. I've been noticing this over the past few weeks and months. I've even had people like DM me privately saying sorry for like having a go at you a few months ago. I understand where you're coming from now. I mean, I was just a late seer of the situation. Lots of people are seeing the beauty of what James can be. Do you think our strategy would have been successful if Diaz had started instead of Ake and Kusanov? I'm not sure he'd be able to handle Gyökeres like that. I think so, probably, because it would still be Diaz and Kusanov, wouldn't it? So, and Diaz has actually been really good in the air this season, so I think that he'd have been fine yesterday. Yeah, on Sunday. Sorry. Yeah. I want to see an Elliot Anderson analysis. Well, if we sign him, I'll do a proper full one. But if you want to see a scout report one, then hey, become a member, because I will be releasing that maybe this week actually. But for that will be a member exclusive video. No, it won't be that. No, the Anderson tactical analysis video will only be if we actually sign him. Yeah. It'll only be if we actually sign him. Trafford's never getting one, unfortunately, because I'm not doing one for a second choice goalkeeper. This week I might try to work on the Gahey one, the actual one. Hey, respect Everton, man. Respect Everton. They're a good team. Maybe a repeat of Aguero moment last second, Shirky scoring the winning goal. If we win this treble, it might hit better than the first one. Peroni wouldn't want to leave Coma Bro. They're playing Champions. Oh yeah, Peroni's not a thing. Yeah, I think we get Anderson. Yeah, definitely. Definitely think we do, based on all the reports that are going on. It feels almost inevitable at this point with everything that's being said. I know it's only rumours and whatnot, but it seems pretty... We know that we need a player like that, especially if Pep isn't willing to use Nico in the way that I had hoped he would have been used, and he clearly hasn't been willing to use him like that, then we still need a Gundogan replacement. I thought that it was going to be Nico. Pep doesn't want to use him like that. I thought it was going to be Reinders. Pep seemingly thinks that he can't use him like that, even though I still think the idea was for him to be used like that, but he hasn't illustrated he can do it defensively, maybe in the long term, perhaps. So we still need this Gundogan replacement. So we brought in Nunes, he's gone to right back. We brought in Reinders, but he's being played almost exclusively as an 8-10. We've brought in Nico, but he's not being used as a 6-8 hybrid. He's only being used as a 6. So that's not going to work long term with Rodri. So one of them's going to have to go, unfortunately, as well, unless we switch up there. So we're still searching for this ultimate Gundogan replacement. So and it is probably going to be Anderson. And then next season, you'd assume... I don't know what the exact off-ball orientation would be, but if Bernardo is leaving, you'd guess there would be Anderson to mainly come in and try to take most of that out of possession role anyway. Can't replicate exactly what Bernardo did, of course, so we will have to adapt, of course, but no one can do what Bernardo offers. But Anderson would be a good partner for either Nico or Rodri, because he can do all like the running for Rodri and do all the defensive work, but he can also contribute going forward, so he can support Nico in that sense. So, yeah. Whichever number 6 we end up going for, short term, long term, I think Anderson's a good bet in that sense. I'll do it, Naveen. It's just that the problem is it all happened when I was incredibly stressed out and didn't want to do any work in it because my brain was fried. But it's also just like fundamentally, it's not really a signing that moved me that much either. So it will happen, and I will do it. It will be long overdue, and maybe I'll only get like 12 views, but I will do it just for the purposes of completeness. I will do that. I've not retired. I'm just often too busy doing stuff, or I just don't want to do it because it's free. It's my time. I'm giving my time up for free, and I don't mind doing that if I have time. But if I don't, and I want to work on some paid content work, then no, I'm not going to bin it off. I'm still going to do it. I still want to do it. Because maybe I can look at it through the lens of what's going to be the longer term situation. And is he going to be like a starting one or whatever? Spurs. These Spurs guys, man. I don't know what is going on. We are single-handedly saving them from relegation at this point, honestly. It's crazy. Gundo Part 3, shut up. I think Reinders can do it. His recent 8 shifts have been better to me than his 10-second striker shifts. Hopefully. We haven't yet seen it. consistently. Hopefully we can do. I saw it in Milan. I saw it there. I'll be 8 of those 12. Excellent work, Jack. That's reasonable. Musty, chill, mate. Chill, chill, chill. Excellent work from Thunder Road. Leave a like on the video, guys. It's free and it helps support the channel. Come on, guys. Get it up here. Get it up here. Easy mode, easy mode, easy mode. Yeah, I saw that. That was very funny. Very funny. What are Spurs doing? How many managers are they on now? What are they doing? Oh, this Tudor guy, Tudor, however you say it properly, I don't think he understood the assignment. He keeps talking about Spurs like, oh, if there's loads of problems at this club and it's going to be a long way to go before they get back to where they go. Yeah, we all know that, but you weren't brought in to identify the problems with what Spurs are long term. You're brought in to be a short-term manager to just save them from relegation. He's acting like he's there for like the long term, but we all know that you aren't there. So for the long term, so it's very odd situation that's going on there. It doesn't really surprise me. It doesn't really surprise me that it's not really ultimately worked out. I don't think he understood the assignment. Hello, Fires. I'm late to the stream. Unacceptable. Not good enough. Do you see the system being used again? I think it was just a one-off, personally, because against lots of teams who are going to get dominated by us generally, they hoof it anyway. So I don't know if it matters. Hello, Fenway. What's the chat/streaming schedule going to be during the international break? Well, I'm glad you asked, because tonight and Tuesday and Wednesday evenings, we are always live on Twitch when I actually go live. So tonight we will be live on Twitch for Football Manager, and tomorrow we'll also be live on Twitch tomorrow evening for Football Manager. So that will be a thing on for Twitch on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I don't know what we're going to do in respect to the Touchline talks. I don't know. I'll have a think. Maybe we won't do anything, and maybe we'll just have a chill. Or maybe I can think of an idea. Or maybe we could just like a cheeky tier list, because they're all fun. You know, they're all fun also. Thank you, Diaz. I thought that was a good one personally. Does Hayes have a place in the squad? It's a good question. I don't know what we're going to do with our centre backs. One day we need to do a scouting young right back stream, says Joshua. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I do need to do like an actual video in the summer, but also I want to do a member data report analysis on, because we did one for Costa and we did one for Fernandez. I don't think we've ever done one for Reed though, so maybe after the Anderson one, maybe that could be the next member exclusive video, like a Reed a data analysis one. That could be something. It's going well. Naveen's going well. Doing for Deadit. Shut up. Just on this, I did a tweet today. It's a big up to me for doing a tweet. And it was in response to some really interesting data from Data MB. Big up to them. I've used them before. It hasn't Thunder Road. It will do one day. Don't you worry. Maybe over the international break, I'll work on it. Maybe I will. Maybe. And basically, it was plotting defensive duels 1 percentage versus passes completed per 90. And like Nunes is in a world of his own compared to all other right backs. Essentially, he's all on his Todd in that top right-hand side. Which is very good. Of course it is. But I've seen people, in my opinion, reach an incorrect conclusion as to that data. The correct conclusion is Nunes has been very lovely this season, and his performances have been fantastic, and we should all be very happy about that. That's a good conclusion. In my opinion, the incorrect conclusion, therefore, is, well, we don't need a right back. Nah, if anything, it's the opposite. Because if Nunes isn't in the side, doing that offensive work he does in addition to the defensive work, then who do we have? Who do we actually have to do that? What are our right back options this season? Joshua, I blocked that idiot. a while ago. So if he did say that, I don't know. I blocked that Zionist prick a minute ago, so I don't give a toss what he said. What it illustrates is that City now more than ever need a right back in order to actually be there for when Núñez isn't here. Because if Núñez isn't here, what are the options? As Núñez in the chat has just said there, we've got Rico Lewis, who may well not even be here next season because he's hardly been playing. And even if he were playing, he's not the same mold of right back option as Núñez. He's not going to hold the width like Núñez is able to do. He's not going to be able to tuck in and play at right centre back as Núñez has done either. So Lewis is like a no-no. Kusanov is the other one, who's a centre back. So okay, he can play the right centre back, fine, but he's offering nothing going forward. He's not going to be able to put in dangerous crosses like Núñez did against Arsenal in the League Cup final, and indeed just how he has been across his whole career as well. And then, yeah, technically, someone said Akanji, didn't they? Yeah, technically, Akanji is still a City player. And, yeah, he would be able to do, like, the defensive side of it. But, again, he's not going to offer anything going forwards. So, if we are moving away from the idea of getting fullbacks who are primarily defensive-oriented, then we need to be looking at more traditional right-backs who are able to actually advance and contribute going forwards offensively. Because if Núñez is... And we said this in that Club World Cup game against Al Hilal, when Núñez went off at half-time, we had to change our structure and our system entirely because Núñez went out. Yeah, Stone's another one. Yeah, not going to offer anything going forwards like that on that right side anyway. Because if Núñez ain't playing, you can't play a certain style of play. So what happens if Núñez gets injured? Or, it just more reasonably... What happens if you want to rotate a player? Your entire structure now has to change. That's insane that Núñez has become the focal point and the crux of our entire setup. So we need to be bringing in a right back who isn't a centre back, preferably. Someone who can be more advanced. And this Núñez data illustrates that we need a right back now more than ever. We should have signed one after the treble year. Didn't happen, okay? But maybe you couldn't have predicted Walker to have declined that much. Fine. I accept that. You had to sign one in 2024. No. Yeah, 2024. But we didn't. So therefore we had to sign one in 2025. But we didn't. And now it's 2026. We have to sign one. We have to sign one now. We absolutely have to. I think Fenway said it, and this is something again that we have discussed on the channel because the dilemma used to be we need to bring in a right back who is like better than Núñez now and can also be elite. The good news about Núñez's excellent performances at right back are that it justifies City signing a younger right back even more so than before. Now, when we are signing this right back, they don't have to come in and be an immediate starter for us. They still have to be good, obviously, but now we have the security, the cushion of having Núñez be your main right back option, and then you have an understudy in the short term who can play the odd game here and there, maybe like start cup games, whatever, and of course like play some Premier League games, maybe the easier ones. And then in 1, 2, 3 years' time, however long, there's a natural situation where Núñez either leaves or becomes second choice because he's getting on. And then this right back has evolved into the elite player that they can potentially be. Hence, it makes sense for City to sign a young right back either in their late teens or early 20s. This is why the same names keep cropping up, whether it is a Reed, whether it is a Fernandez, whether it is a Costa, etc., etc., etc. Someone like that is probably what we should be going for. So, yeah. That's what we should be doing realistically. And again, Núñez being good gives us a nice cushion of this player doesn't have to now hit the ground running. They can nicely, slowly progress and become that player instead, which is very, very good and lovely. So yeah, Núñez is not even in a jokey way one of our most important players. There's some mad stat about how we just don't lose games with Núñez in the side recently. I think that makes sense because not only has he been very good on an individual level, what he provides to the setup is also integral. Even if he's not playing as an out-and-out right winger or proper overlapping fullback, he didn't play like that against Arsenal. He played as a right centre-back, but he was still offering offensive thrust and work and ball carrying as well. And there was a moment where he carried the ball forwards, he played it to Semenyo, and he continued his run. Now, if that's a centre-back playing there, he doesn't bother continuing and move into the right half space, because why would he? He would stay back. So it's really easy to 2v1 whoever the right winger is. So we do need that mould of player, no doubts. No doubts, no doubts, no doubts. Núñez is now right centre-back, right centre midfield, right back, and right winger in the same game. Yeah, incredibly versatile, so big up to him. Big up to him for adapting, because unfortunately he wasn't signed for the purpose we brought him for. We wanted him to be a midfielder. That didn't work out for him, but he's now a fullback, which is really impressive from him. He found a way to get into the squad, and it has worked. Yeah, Coyote, that's another name which could be good. He's also very, very lovely. Very, very lovely. Hello, Rise and Shine. How are you? Maybe because I'm Valverde to play right back. Yeah, just never play him. Just have him there in the squad somewhere, so we don't have to ever play him. Yeah. Núñez hated playing at right back at first. I'm sure he did, because he would have thought, I'm coming in to be a midfielder. I'm a midfielder, but not in this City side. You're not. Unfortunately. Saka's a right back, brilliant. Deary me. Facilitator of the balls. That's the key. Yeah, he is a facilitator, and I think he's so important to getting Shirky into what I still think is one of his best utilizations for most games, and that gives City another option. So if we don't want to immediately throw Shirky into a central pressing area, we can still try to facilitate him off ball and on ball with an attacking right back like Núñez. So it's important now that we bring in another right back who can offer something offensively and going forwards, and can eventually become one of the best right backs in the world, ideally. Yeah, guys, you're going to get banned if you don't like the video, guys. Come on. Listen to Musty. He's a psychopath. He's just threatened to ban you if you don't leave a like on the video. Come on, guys. This is what happens on this channel, yeah? I have brainwashed my moderators to threaten people with violence. It's not violence, is it? It's just paying rent on the like button, yeah? I brainwash people on this channel, yeah? Yeah, there was so much going down that right side. It was crazy, wasn't it? And I guess that's the beauty of also having Doku, is that you can do that, but still have your winger 1v1 on that left side. Get a random kid from La Masia, brilliant. What happened to the Anderson news? It's been radio silence. Has it? I thought that there was, I mean, there's not going to be that much news because we're still in the season, but I feel like the past few weeks has been steady, hasn't it? Nobbins has a cult. You're damn right I do. You're damn right. Yeah, caress that. Caress it. The pass from Rodri to Núñez for the second goal was a little beauty. Oh, it was, wasn't it? It absolutely was. It was all beautiful, wasn't it? Anything else to talk about, guys? We'll be live for another 15 minutes. Any other thoughts that we want to have a chat about? We've spoken about the League Cup final performance, the importance of Trafford in the game, the importance of like a City's right side in the game, Ake, Kusanov, O'Reilly all having a field day in the air, Gyökeres and Havertz being dusty in the air, Arsenal's manager not knowing how to deal with our 4-2-4. So we've covered a lot today, and we've even touched on the Nunez right back successor situation. What else do we want to chat? Any other topics of note, guys, or questions or thoughts? Start, bench, drop, Pedri, Rodri, or Valverde. I've always got to start my boy Rodri. I'll bench Pedri and I'll drop Valverde. At this point, it's funny how there's still been nothing on the 115/130 charges front. Yeah, that's just boring, isn't it? Just can it just be done? So there's always like a non-story that happens every few months, which then like brings back all the shit. It'll be like the most non-update update. It'll be like, oh, and Manchester, like, you know, I don't know, the Times will do City still waiting 115 verdict, and then that will bring back all the other shit up, and then loads of channels will start talking about it again, even though there hasn't been any news or anything really worthwhile talking about basically since the news have first dropped. There's been no progress realistically in that sense. Just very boring. I get it, people are frustrated, rival fans are frustrated. Hey, City fans are frustrated as well, because we've got this cloud hanging over us. It's just boring. Do I like Flick as a coach? I don't think I do. I don't think I do, to be honest. I might be a bit of a hater. Will all of chat live in a big house together? What? Hello? Do you remember the person at LB stream saying you don't talk to them anymore? Yeah, that was like Donna, who used to be on this channel a few times. Used to be a member, actually. But, like, they've not been here for ages, so when they said, you don't talk to me, like, you don't talk here. What are you talking about? Hello? Hello? Of course you can, Spartacus, don't you worry, mate. Garcia or Raya? Garcia. I think Garcia has been probably the best goalkeeper in the world this season. Has Garcia, so fair play to him. He's very, very lovely. Every single time I watch him, he's making a stupid, impossible save, and he's also helping get his team from one box to the other, like against Newcastle. He was so good in that game. City will have points deducted if all the charges come through. Yeah, crazy. Infinite content farm. Yeah, it's just boring. Yeah, exactly, Fenway, yeah. I've seen the World Cup ticket pricing. I've not, but yeah, they're just going to take the mickey, aren't they? They're just going to take the mickey. That's unacceptable, guys. We need these likes up. Come on. Courtois or Garcia. In general, Courtois, but I think this season Garcia may have been better. But I think Courtois is the best goalkeeper in the world, but I think Garcia will be the best keeper in the world. Probably, and that will probably be universally agreed. I'm going to say in 2 seasons' time. I think most people right now think that Courtois is the best goalkeeper in the world, and I think that as well. I think that not enough people really have quite comprehended how good he's been, because if you think about how Barca are set up this season as well, he's totally exposed all the time. So he's got to make consistently excellent saves, because the way they are playing is so suicidal that it means that that he has to be called into action all the time. Hate watching England because Rooney's comment about Neymar to rise and shine the affairs. Pyrex, love that from you. I love that from you. Start, bench, drop, Courtois, Garcia, Raya. For City, I'll start Garcia. Because I believe that Courtois is probably the only goalkeeper where that trade-off is fully worth it, inarguably. So I probably would go Courtois and then Raya. But yeah, I would rather start Garcia personally. But I do think Courtois is the best goalkeeper in the world. Does that make sense? When we see drunk Nobbins again, I don't know, Nintendo. I don't know. It usually happens in cup finals, but we'll see. I'm guessing older guys, you know, the liver and all that, probably doesn't want to have all these drunk watch-alongs and whatnot. So we'll see. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll reserve it for City finals. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yes, Fenway's crazy, isn't it? Trafford the next, Neuer or Edison. Wonder what's going to happen to Trafford. I wonder what will happen to him. Wonder what'll happen. I was on smoke. What did I do? Is he going to move? That's a shame. I do think that long term it will work for him. Again, he was the best keeper in France last year. I still would have liked him at City. I'll be real. I pray we don't sell Trafford this summer and send Don to Italy at the end of next season. I think the Trafford's gone. Unfortunately. Maybe that'll be like the final thing to say. We've got like less than 10 minutes left. Predictions. What is Trafford going to be doing? The Wales. I did have technical struggles, didn't I? I wasn't rude to LB though, was I? I don't remember being rude. I remember struggling to get him on the stream because I was having technical issues. But I think I was nice to LB, wasn't I? I hope I wasn't rude. Yeah. What's the state of play going to be with Trafford? Do you guys reckon? What do you think? And what you want? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen with Trafford? Let me know. Because it seems to me very unlikely that he like stays out and out as a City player. The absolute like best case scenario for City that's also like realistic is surely going to be he'll be a City player, but he'll be on loan at another club. That's the only, and that's like the that's like best case / realistic scenario for me. Because if we're being realistic, he's not going to be at City as a number 2 goalkeeper. Surely not. I don't see that being a thing. So the only way I can see him being a City player still is if he then goes out on loan. But then that raises the question of what's the point of him going out on loan? Because Donnarumma isn't an old goalkeeper. And he's got a contract for like 5 years or whatever it is. Why would we have him just for 2 years? Is Trafford going to dick around and wait around for another year after that? If I were him, I'd be fucked off. I'd be like, oh, sod this. Why should I be hanging around for 2 years? I'm good enough to start for you now, is probably what he's thinking. Why can't I just do that now? So, I'd love to think that there's a world where... That's crazy. I'd love to think there's a world where he is willing to stay here. I just don't get it. And I guess that's the follow-up thing for me is if we are saying, right, Donnarumma will only be here for like another season, what was the point? What was the point? I don't understand. It's such a weird. I know we keep talking about it. It is a weird situation, isn't it? It's a very odd situation. It is very, very weird. Genuinely though, isn't there like you can pay him money? Hasn't he been exposed recently? You can pay him money. And he will just say whatever you want him to say about a player. I hate this Fabrizio guy. I hate him. Got no integrity. How much money do you need as well? Do you not have enough millions? Unacceptable behavior. Lifetime contract, get in. You guys, this is your guys' predictions. Exactly, Musty's just disgusting. Trafford stays, Don leaves. We got him on the cheap. We'll exchange. Right, okay, Fireball, this is crazy. City would want to keep Trafford. However, if he has any ambition, he'll leave. That's the thing. I'm sure City, of course. I'm sure City would love to keep him. But he's not going to stay as a number 2. Best case, he might go on loan somewhere. But how long is he going to be how long is he going to be dicking around out there for? Loan him to Newcastle, give them a taste of greatness. Trafford will say, fuck off with your loans and your buybacks. Loan him to buy and activate the agent Trafford clause to bring company. Yes, I love that, Pyrex. Love that from you. Oh. Wait, we had Garcia in the books. What? What? We had Trafford and Garcia in the books at once. Wait, what? What? I need some more context there if I missed something. From a Trafford perspective, it's best he leaves and joins a big club. Don't think Donnarumma leaves, given nobody else will pay him what we pay him. Donnarumma to move in 2 years. I don't think two years isn't standard. I think he was at Milan for 4 or 5 years and PSG for 4 maybe. And again, if that is the case, then why did we even do it? Is the question. Very odd. Oh, I understand, Spartacus. Okay, I got it. Understood. There's a Girona connection. Got it. Yeah, so the shortest he stayed at a club is 4 years. That's PSG. Yeah, this was disgusting, wasn't it? He has, yeah. It's Fabrizio slop. Yeah, Romano slop. Yeah, all that being said, guys, let's start a fund. let's exploit him, yeah? If we all save up 10 quid, yeah. We can get like if every subscriber on this channel donates 10 quid, maybe we can like get like 10 seconds of airtime. Who knows? Yeah, this is why Sam Lee's my goat. Yeah, Fab Salt. That's why Sam Lee's my goat. Sam Lee's my goat. That's the boy. Goes to Liverpool. They've already got what's his face though, haven't they? Mamardashvili. Have I said that name correctly? Isn't he the Alisson heir? Isn't that the idea? Isn't that the idea? Isn't that the vibe? I don't know though. I don't know. I thought that was their state of play. I don't know when Alisson's contract expires. Is he going this year? When's his contract expire? I don't know. I thought that he was their guy. I don't know. I don't know enough about him. But I thought that the point of him signing was to be the heir. Is it next year it expires? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, contract expires in 2027. Don't know them. I don't know. Genuinely, if I am Trafford, I am looking at... I'd hit up Vincent Kompany. I'd say, look, I know that Manuel Neuer is irreplaceable. And blah, 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 blah. But let's be honest. How old is he? Is he in his 40s? His contract obviously expires in the summer, I'm sure. He's 39, sorry. No, okay, apologies. He'll be 40 in 3 days. 40 in 3 days. He was apparently in the Girona Academy, guys. Spartacus has just clarified, FYI. His contract, he's just like operating on, 1-year contracts at this point. Because his last contract extension was in 2025. It expires in the summer. Hit up your old manager, Vincent from Burnley. Vincent, come and say, look, you know what I'm capable of. We've worked together before. I'm not getting the game time I need over here. I'm good enough to play for a big boy club for like the next decade. Get me over there. If I'm Trafford, I don't know if that's breaking some sort of like rules or whatever, like tapping up however it works. But that is definitely what I'm doing. I'm dropping him a cheeky WhatsApp and saying, mate, I'm good enough. I'm good enough. Trust me. Trust me. I will do this. So that's what I would do if I were him. That would be what I would be looking at. Although knowing Bayern, I don't know how it works, Musty. Knowing Bayern, they'll probably give Neuer an extension because he's like part of the furniture or whatever the term is nowadays. So there we go. That's what I'd do if I were him. They don't need a first choice. Sounds like cap to me. Sounds like cap. Vinny let Muller go. There you go. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. What is this? I'm getting some I clicked on the wrong thing there. I got confused. I shouldn't have left transfer marked. Maybe so. Yeah. Look, that's the He's not going to go to Bayern, obviously. That's a fun timeline. That's a fun timeline. But you know, I tell you what though, Chevalier ain't working out. I tell you who is working out though, Safanov. So fair play to him. He's actually doing quite good this season, you know. I know initially he was linked with a move to Newcastle, obviously, but then that. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. As I understand it, he was gonna go to Newcastle. Like it was basically all gonna work out great, and then City were like, "Fuck that. We want the buyback situation. We don't want to lose you." So he was ready to go to Newcastle. Unfortunately, matching rights. Unfortunately, Newcastle are now 12th, and he deserves more than that. He deserves to be playing for a team in the Champions League and all that stuff. He needs to go to. I don't really know what Newcastle are doing. In fairness, Chelsea probably. Yeah, someone said Chelsea earlier. I do like Sanchez, but that if they can get him, I mean, they love getting a bloody City Academy player. In fairness, don't they? So that'd be great. Nah, Foden won't leave this summer. Nah. Yeah. James Trafford to come round mine for tea, where I convince him to stay at City. Hey, James, hit me up, man. Let's have a chat. I'll sort you out. Don't worry. I bet you make a good curry. It's a good point, Jack. It's a good point. Sunderland goalkeeper. He's been amazing, hasn't he? He's been so good. Either he or Rye has been the best goalkeeper in the league this season, in my opinion. And that was unexpected. Right, guys. We're going to wrap up today's stream there. Thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like on the video because it's free and it helps support your boy. Oh, very cute. So Nana Nobbins today. My mum took her to something called Reminiscity. It's a Manchester City initiative, and the clues in the word. It's a very clever name. It's about reminiscing. It's basically for fans who it's open to everyone. In fairness, but it's mainly for. The idea is it's for City fans or football fans generally who have memory issues, dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever it may be, and you can just go there. You can speak to other people, and there's it's all free, and you just have a little tea and biscuits, and you just there's activities there. And you just reminisce about old City squads and that sort of thing. So today I've just been sent some pictures. So theme is City squads and players from around the world. And then it's a list of City players. So I think you've got to create a. Oh no! So you've got to there was some very. It was a pointless situation. So you had to try to name some unexpected players. So for example, Vincent Kompany, very obvious. That got you 92 out of 100. Whereas if you said Sean Gota, because he's from Bermuda, right? So only 7 people said Sean Gota, for example. The pointless answers were Niall Quinn. Vonk, McCarthy, Mick McCarthy, and Terry Phelan. Uwe Rosler with a cheeky 1. Big up to Uwe on that. Cool. That looks like that was a success. That's very nice, isn't it? Yeah. Then you got to name a City player after 2000, more than 150 appearances. You got to try to get the least obvious answer. So that's pretty cool. Sunji Hai, is he on his? Doesn't seem to be on this list. Can't see him on the list, unfortunately. Don't know why I wouldn't be there. But yeah, that's a really cool concept. That's a cool concept. Cool. Yeah, I'll speak to her about that, and she'll let me know how it went. Big up to all of my supporters on the Patreon YouTube membership who just went by when I was saying that. If you'd like to support the channel, guys, click that link in the pinned comment, and you can do so directly. That is the best way to support the channel so that I can continue making videos for you guys. It's the international break. We will be live on Twitch tonight. I'm going to say around 7 p.m. Around 7 till 9 tonight, we'll be doing Cork City. So join me tonight for that. Have a lovely rest of your day. I'll catch you guys this evening for a cheeky Twitch stream. Goodbye, guys.